Hi there, and welcome back to yet another great episode of BroBryceGardens right here on YouTube. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about apartment gardening. Now, today, I'm here in the new Sparks, Nevada edition of the BroBryceGardens. I had to figure out, one of the things that we wanted in an apartment was a place where they would allow us to set up the garden barrel, like you see here, and other container gardens and things. I wanted to be able to grow some of my own produce, and I wasn't sure what I was going to be able to do. Hopefully, be able to set up something. And in most cases, most of us are confined, if we're living in an apartment, which we sold the house, then we're confined to containers inside the house or containers out on the balcony. But usually you're not able to do any kind of really high capacity gardening. So I wanted to try to do this video series based on the idea that, it is possible. Like, for example, this garden barrel, I can put up to 50 some odd plus plants, plus whatever I can fit in the top in this garden. And I mean, this is a full-blown garden with compost and worms and everything. So there's quite a potential for being able to do high capacity gardening, especially since in our case we have an outside water supply. So specifically in this video, I want to focus on this tomato planter, and this is a homemade earth box based on the one that I learned from Clint over at Garden Frugal. You should check out his channel. I'll put that up here in the little eye up here. If you get a chance to check out his channel, he's got some great videos up there, and this is one of them. But I wanted to show you another variation of that I've done, and that is this. The idea is to create a wicking barrel, right? Something that wicks the water up from the bottom. Now in the case of this is a 10-gallon Roughneck container, and about 5 gallons of that is the water reservoir underneath, and it fills in to this pipe here. There's a little hole on the side over here so that it overflows. When you fill it up, you can tell that it's full because it's flowing a little bit out the side. And I'll show you how the construction of these things works. So essentially, in that one, I have 2 holes down at the bottom, and this one, I've got 1. So they're both essentially the same type of thing. And then the hole on this one is, let's see if we can find it. Nope. We're getting closer. There is the hole on this one. There it is. It's right there. I should have put it somewhere more obvious. But we got a hole drilled through the side here so that the water, which is that hole is drilled just below the surface of this deck here, so that the water will overflow out of that before it overflows into the dirt up here. So the idea is that we just use this cheap perf pipe. This stuff is ridiculously cheap at the home improvement store, and it's got holes in the side. That's why it's called perf pipe. And I took each one of these things and I cut them so that they are 11 segments long, so they're roughly the same size. There's no rocket science to this. And this is just the bottom of an old earth box, the old earth machine compost things. Totally worthless composter, but the bottom of it was an interesting material, so I cut that out to make the base of this. And then I just have a piece of PVC sticking down the side here, and that I will use to water in underneath the dirt. And then just like that over there, I'll use this weed barrier stuff here, which I have a whole roll of it here, to make a blanket for the bottom of this, and cut a hole out in the middle so that I can pack my dirt right down into this hole. Now the idea how it wicks up is you just pack this densely with your soil or whatever medium that you're using, and then when you fill it up with the water, then you have, you know, your blanket here, and then you fill it up with dirt, and then when you fill it up with your dirt on top, you fill it up loosely, and then when you fill it up with water, it will wick up from the bottom. So the way that this works, though, to start it up, when you first fill up your plants and everything, you got to top water it. It's called top watering. You just water it from the top, and then you fill up the bottom, and then you don't have to worry about it filling it up from the top again after that. The cool thing about that is that this dirt stays nice and dry, and that way it doesn't attract gnats and stuff, and that's really cool. That's a cool side effect of it. But the other cool thing is that, you know, this is going to have something like 10 or 15 gallons of water in the bottom of it, which is fabulous, because that means I can let this thing sit for a week or two before I have to water it. Sometimes with this one, even if I have it out in the sun, and this is the third year for this tomato planter, sometimes even when I have this out in the sun, I don't have to water it more than once a week. So it's pretty great. But here we don't have really any real direct sun. That over there is going to get the only direct sun, and that's only for a very small segment of the day. But it's still going to be pretty hot out here, so should be plenty fruitful. Anyway, in this, I'll be able to grow all kinds of other things. I'm going to just basically keep my tomatoes to that, because we only like cherry tomatoes. But in here, I'm going to have all kinds of other things growing in here, and I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. But I wanted to show you this. This is from, this is one of those polyresin barrels from Costco, and I think I got it for like $15 or something. And the cool part of that is that, you know, it can be used as a regular planter, but in this case I have taken this thing and repurposed it into something relatively it's super practical. And if you bought an earth box like this, it would cost you well over $100 for a planter like this. And the cool thing is that this is really going to be very fruitful. This is going to make sure that I don't overwater. The plants are only going to get the water that they want out of here, and they're going to drink whenever they want. So anyway, this is a really practical and fashionable thing. The only thing about these is that in apartment dwellings, this is really ideal for like your patio or your deck or something, but it's not really super ideal for inside unless you get some kind of really hardy tray to put underneath it. And I'll tell you why. Because when that thing flows out the side, it doesn't stop for a while. So if you got like pergo floors like that, then you're gonna be trashing your floors. Take it from me, all right? So anyway, I just wanted to show you this because I think that this is really gonna be fabulous. We actually built this for our friend Stella, who moved to the East Coast, and we have been pestering her ever since to move back. And but this is going to be given a new life here in Sparks, Nevada. And this will be the first year that that one's in service. That one's the third year for that one. And the tomatoes are producing like crazy on this thing already. And another shout out to Ace Hardware for having really great plants over there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoy this video, and I hope that you can find some great purpose for gardening in your apartment. That's the whole reason why I want to do this little mini series on apartment gardening, because you know, it's kind of it's a challenge, right, to find a place to garden. I mean, even if you have a house, it's challenging, but in an apartment place, it's not really your space. You know, and things like this garden barrel, not necessarily totally practical for everybody, but it's a tight space. And if you're on the first floor and you don't mind having some stuff draining off the patio, then this is for you, right? It's a perfect solution. Really tight space, lots and lots of plants, right? So these kind of solutions, I think, are kind of important. It's important to me, and it was a factor in which apartment that we selected. You know, have an outside water supply. That's really bonus, because when I'm done, this line is going to be fastened here to the fence, and it's going to drop down into these pipes, so that even when I'm not coming out here to water, they're being watered, and I don't have to worry about them overflowing because they just kind of trickle out the side. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to check out the links up there in the eye, up in the corner. Have a great day. Bye-bye.